Hey guys, Ash and Saf here in Dragonheir, Silent and Gods coming back at you today. Saf, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, We're going to be talking about Goblin damage dealers
Goblin
today.
time.
One of the most important things you need in the game. It's really exciting.
Basically, it's the dungeon you're going to be spending the most of your time in, especially early on. Maybe overall, right? Just getting experience to upgrade your heroes in the game. So we're going to talk about the best heroes to invest in. We're going to start kind of breaking this video down into two parts. We're going to have a rare and epics, and then we're just going to go all out with the legendaries in the next video. So be on the lookout for that and see if you're lucky enough to pull one of these heroes that we talk about in either of these videos. So Saf, obviously Goblin's Lair, any like general thoughts? We'll have like I think probably a more in-depth guide on Goblin Lair once we have like our full team ready to go. But for now, any, basic thoughts on Goblin's Lair, basically spending a lot of resources and focus on, I guess, like range damage dealers for the most part, debuffers, right?
Yeah, Goblin Lair is
no melee.
Effectively, it's basically how quickly can you kill the waves of goblins. It's pretty much, there's no like mechanics in terms of like, skills you have to counter or skill timers. It's literally, can I kill these goblins as quickly as I possibly can kill these goblins, and how fast can I kill these goblins? It's all about the AoE damage you can do.
There's something fun about it to me. It's repetitive, but it's fun,
What the goal here is to basically do it within 50 seconds. That's the challenge, because then you can move on to the next level, and the quicker you can do it, the better the rewards, the payoff. So it's very much about like how quickly you can clear the waves of goblins, and so it means that you don't really have much priority in terms of tanks, but you might need it like until you get to the point where you can kill the waves quickly, you might need to have someone hold them up.
Yeah.
But generally, you don't want to invest in tanks because that's slowing you down. It's all about AoE damage dealers, and that's kind of what we're
as much AoE as you can get while keeping everybody alive and progressing as fast as possible, essentially, right? At the very final stage, because I have not experienced endgame yet, are the teams typically built with like one tank and a bunch of AoE DPS, or how does it, or is it just all DPS all the time?
Full damage, full pedal to the metal, as much as you can do. Yeah, pretty much. Like sometimes it's handy to have like a damage dealer that's a little bit tanky, maybe. Or has some crowd control, like we've got Iola here, very good for crowd control.
Yeah.
With a bunch of different things. Like at the moment, we're using a tank because we're early game, so we need to like hold them up a little bit.
Do what we can.
Eventually, we'll move away from that. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good, man. Well, let's go ahead and get to the top 5 here. Do you have them in order from like 5 to 1, or is it just like random order?
So it's a little bit different because obviously you need to enable some of these. But I'm going to go probably let's go from the order in which it's the easiest to pick to ones that you need to enable. So let's go with like the one that I would say is probably the easiest thing that you can do straight away. And it's someone you don't even need to summon. It is the Traveler. And this is your
own character. Okay.
Absolutely.
I'll just go to our guy, Ashfira.
Ashfira, he's special because he can be any element you want him to be. Like you can switch his element. It's the only hero you can switch elements. But you would want to run him more than likely in the flame, in the fire element.
Like we do, yeah.
That is the AoE damage spell. And because you get the books, the skill upgrades for your Traveler for free by playing the campaign, like you can see our skill upgrades, I think we're fully maxed up now. You basically can upgrade the potential of this really quickly. He starts by giving you increased attack. He just becomes a very good Goblin clear early on. Very early on, like probably the first 15, 12 stages now, isn't it? So probably at the first 10 stages or first 9 stages, he will do as good as any champion in the game at pushing you through goblins. Definitely really good.
And we have a whole early game gearing guide video, guys, if you want like help on how to build these heroes. But it's essentially on our Ashfira here, we're just going with as much attack as we can muster with as much crit rate, and that's basically it, right?
Yeah, basically you're building full damage. You're not really worried about
survivability or anything like that.
Attack, crit rate as much as you can.
All right, man, awesome. Who's next?
So next up is another one that's pretty easy for you to use. This one's going to be a rare, and this is going to be Arena, who is a lightning rare. And Arena is just very good because she just constantly pings out lots of good damage.
There we go. We've talked about Arena quite a bit. There's
so many supports in this game that are actually extremely good damage dealers. You can see that on the ultimate ability here, she's just going to ping damage out on the ultimate constantly. On the battle skill, on the battle skill. She bounces these little lightning bolts and it can hit up to 3 enemies. So every 8 seconds, you're just pushing these little bits out on top of the ultimate then, which has a big attack penalty and a nice strong 710 multiplier for rare champions. Pretty good. I think on her passive ability as well, she has like the ability to generate like a little shield as well.
Shield,
like a bit self-sustain,
Great. Okay.
But what you find is Arena doesn't do anything spectacular, but she'll top damage as you finish the run, right? Because she's just constantly AoEing and you don't even realize.
Just solid AoE damage throughout. Awesome. Cool. Okay. Who else?
Excellent.
Number 3.
So now we're going to get into more like there's 3 champions left. One of them you can just run so singularly as a damage dealer, but you can also use as an enabler for one of our other ones on the list. And the next one's going to be Vores. It's an ice epic, very, very strong. Some people would argue it might even be a legendary in the quality of this champion. So we get a bit of healing.
Heal on the passive. Yep.
Which is always nice because if we're not running any tanks, then we are going to take a bit of damage. We get like a single target nuke, which, you know, it's not much, but it's really about this ultimate.
Oh, a 3-time hitter. Yep.
Map wide. So when I want to AoE map wide, I don't have to worry about where the goblins run to.
Why aren't we running him? Oh, we don't have him.
We don't have him yet.
If we did,
he is very popular for either. You can either build him as just a straight out damage dealer, or you can build him as a enabler for the next person on the list, because he does do this AoE buff prohibition. The next person on the list, of course, is going to be Sigrid. I feel like we've talked about Sigrid a lot.
Every single video, she's
yes, it's such a popular setup. You basically Vores ultimate everyone, put buff prohibition, and then Sigrid comes in with the ultimate and one-shots the lot. 820% attack multiplier. Very strong. Very
insane
strong.
For a rare, you know?
Yes, because she's basically meant to be a single target, but because she has that component where it's like, I'll attack everyone with a debuff. Well, as long as they got a debuff, you get an AoE, which is a big hit.
And I imagine most players are going to want to use Sigrid regardless, right? Regardless.
Yeah.
Okay.
Attack penalty 2, 100% chance, quite difficult to acquire. Unless
and if they get Vores even better, but Sigrid solo is going to be basically in most comps in the early game.
You can use Sigrid as like your attack penalty in bosses. So you can. This is the nice things. You can invest in her for Goblin, but you can also
still use
in
her
for other content. Like healing prohibition is very good against like the Rot dungeon and a couple of very good in arena. The arena strategy is also the same thing. You use Vores, place the debuff, and then you get that one shot from Sigrid. And when you kill things, you get her ultimate energy back.
Yeah, I love that.
Blessing and a curse.
Okay.
It can be good.
Because the timing gets screwed up.
The good thing is you get back to your nuke quicker, which means that if you think of it as like a DPS meter, well, the DPS meter is really high because I'm constantly reducing my ultimate. The downside is if you kill everything and then the waves respawns and there's no debuffs, you basically single targets one enemy.
Got you.
Awkward. But there's tricks you can do when we do our full goblin
breakdown.
We'll show you exactly how to like get around that problem.
Okay, I can't wait. All right, who's last on our list? Who's the 5th?
So the last one on our list is another rare. It is Usha.
Okay.
It's Frost rare. Now, Usha needs setup. Usha needs someone like a Rava, someone with the ability to place Frost to help her. But if she does, she can be the front line because she just absolutely one-shots everything when there's Frost. It does 800% damage. Again, very, very strong. And it is a pretty good clear, but you need someone to give her Frost, right? You need someone to place the Frost. So we need someone like a Rava, an enabler for it.
Sounds good. Any honorables or anything like that?
Off the top of your head? Off the top of my head,
not to put you on the spot.
Putting me on the spot.
I know.
Some of the other good enablers for someone like a Sigrid in the poison section specifically is like Dench from a rare section, point of view.
Okay.
Because what he will do is he will drop a lot of poisons down. Because again, all you need for Sigrid to work is you need to like place debuffs, and he has like this poisonous spray that will continuously put debuffs out. So it means that you have less problems with Sigrid if you're building a Sigrid team around her.
Okay.
You can also use someone like there's an epic poisoner in this tier as well. If you go up, I can't remember his name. It's not Garion, it's Horace.
Oh yes, talked about him. Yeah.
Horace, which I like to also call Old Man Nubraids. Sorry.
Yo, Nub, what up, man? He's got the Hades headband though too. He's got that.
Yeah, there's many forms of Nubraids in this game. This is all Nubraids. He triggers poison explosion on an AoE, so you can like set up the Dench, for example, to set up loads of poison, and then boom. Or
man, we could use Horace on our account. I feel like, right? Because we don't have really a good exploder, do we?
Well, we have Jathalia. Jathalia is like the legendary version of of Horace.
I stand corrected.
Horace is pretty good as an epic tier if you have Dench to basically set it all up. And he actually, I think my season 1 team was Sigrid, Dench, Horace. Very, very good for it. For that kind of setup.
Awesome. Well, hey, these are some great call outs here. Let us know who you use in your Goblin run, and be on the lookout for our next video where we talk about the most OP legendaries for our Goblin runs. Any final thoughts here, Sap, before we let the folks go today?
I think Goblin is probably the first team you will build. So this is kind of like a very important kind of list, because you're thinking, okay, what's the easiest way I can do? What's the best team? This is a team you'll spend a lot of time using, a lot of time pushing. So absolutely makes sense to invest in it.
I guess final question actually is to that point, this is the first team that we're going to be building. Should you, even the very, very beginning of the game, should we be focusing on trying to always try to get 3 heroes of the same elemental affinity on that squad?
Yeah, until you get the 5 bonuses, always prioritize 3. So, because you want to and make sure that the 3 are the ones that are going to do damage, if anything. Because you can see there, if we were to pick a poison, and fire, we'd get 40% attack. That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and a 200 flat attack. We don't have that. We don't get those bonuses. So it makes quite a significant difference to your ability to clear that content area.
So try to, even if you don't have, 2 or 3 obviously heroes on this list, try to make sure that you get those 3 elemental affinities on the same squad. That way you can take advantage of all these bonuses and obviously, make a lot more progression in Goblins. There it is, guys. That's the video. Thank you for sticking around till the end. Sap, thanks again as always, man. Appreciate it.
No worries.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Dragonheir for sponsoring this video and this channel. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.